Welcome and welcome back. I'm Martin, and what you just heard have been some cues that came up during my live stream when I was playing with Mosaic Neon. And I guess there was never a better time to play with some vintage sounds than now. Because Heavyocity just came out with Mosaic Neon from the Mosaic Series, and the Mosaic Series normally is a passion project of the sonic wizards over at Heavyocity. And this time they dedicated their love and their passion and their time to vintage sounds. And I think how much love went into this project can be told even by some of the names of the various samples that you can choose then to work in that Mosaic engine. I will talk about that engine shortly. If you look at the names, for example, of the chip tunes, there is the Game Boy's Revenge, there is the Mario Boy, there is Chip Overload, if I remember well, and stuff like this. The cool thing about the Mosaic engine, in my opinion, is that every sound that you hear can have up to 3 different sources, and each source can be modulated singularly, and we as composers often chase behind that perfect sound, and with this one every of those 3 sounds creating one preset can be modulated and exchanged and tweaked by itself within the engine. And let's just quickly listen, for example, to this pad. And you see, the macro engine is working, and here you do have, for example, the interface is divided into 3 pages. You have the mixer page, you have the control page, the options, the arpeggiator, the macro sequencer, and the master effects. And in this one, for example, on channel 1, where we do have the sound, I can switch off the other 2, which is the burning raw. Yeah, there is this on. I switch this off, and you see it's still vibrating. Why is this? This is because here the gate is even on. I switch off even the gate, and you just have a very normal pad like you have in so many libraries. But then you switch on, for example, the gate sequencer, and you already have this. Then you switch on even the arpeggiator on this one. And this is only channel 1, and you have 3 channels, so you even switch back on then the other 2 channels. Here the sound, and then you create something like this. Let's quickly go through the pages. What do you have here? You do have the mixer, where for every of the 3 sources you can switch them on or off. You can choose from the various categories which sound there should be within that channel, and here with the preview you click on them and you get right away a preview, and you just choose the one that you want. You do have obviously the low and the high, because even this is pretty cool. You can decide for every single preset where it should start. If it should be on the whole keyboard, or if it only should have distinctive range. You do have here the velocity, you do have the pitch bend, and even this is so cool. I used this recently in a horror movie. You have the pitch bend. In this case, if you go down, it's going down 1 octave. If you go up, it's going up 2 semitones. But you can say for each of the 3 channels what the pitch bend should do. And if I invert this, for example, and -2 means I dial up the pitch bend, but in channel 2 the sound will go down 2 seminotes, whilst the other 2 go up. It sounds like this. Which is quite interesting, if the sounds then divide like this. And you have the volume, you have the panning on the mixer page where we have been here, and you see wherever there are 2 arrows next to it, then you can modulate it, and you see it here to the macro sequencer. We come to that in a second. You have the control page where you see the controls of those 6 elements: the envelope, the EQ, the filter, the drive, the gate, and the space, for each of the 3 channels separated. So for every channel you can say if there is a delay, if there is a reverb, if there is a filter, if there is a drive, and so on and so forth. You do have the options page where we have been before, where you do have the velocity, the pitch bend, and the keyboard range. Then you do have the arpeggiator that you can set for, I think you get the idea by now, each of the 3 channels. And even here you have chords, which is pretty cool. So you can play a chord, it plays a chord at the beginning, and then it starts to arpeggiate. Then you do have the macro sequencer. You can switch this off, and then the mod wheel just dials in and out the values. Obviously you can invert this, or you can leave it like this, or you simply leave it to the macro sequencer doing all the magic. You do have the amount, you do have the rate, you do have the steps, and then there are the master effects where you have even a mono legato, the punish knob, which obviously can't miss in a Heavyocity library. Then you have the master EQ, you have the reverb. Know your libraries, know your tools, especially with tools like this, where you do have the possibility to really mangle each sound to your liking. Let me quickly show you on this Rhythmic preset what the engine is capable of if we listen to the preset. And all this is done by the arpeggiator. If I switch the arpeggiator off, it's just a pluggy sound. If I switch it back on, and here they did something pretty cool, because there is the link button which links channel 1 to channel 2 to channel 3 on whatever is happening in here. You see? Switched off, there's only channel 1 now being modulated by the arpeggiator. I switched this back on. And you see, then there are all 3 back again. In this case, on channel 3 you do have the bells. In channel 2 you do have the voltage pusher, and on channel 1 you do have the coin meltdown, and all together they sound like this. Pretty cool in my opinion. Let's quickly play with some of those presets, and even if personally I hate the word cue starter a little bit, but lots of those presets are simply this. They are cue starters, just listen. This is really amazing, thanks to the engine. Then there is this one. And this one of my favorites. I really like it. All this is done here by the arpeggiator on the 3 channels. I can switch the arpeggiator off. And that's it. Then we can go on the control page for the gate. We can see there is nothing on, it's all the arpeggiator. And then I switch back on the... Then on channel 2. And on channel 3. What else is the macro sequencer doing here? It's working on the envelope and on the filter and on the drive and on the space. So there's everything happening. This extraordinary library, in my opinion, is the result of the time spent by the Heavyocity team crafting and breathing new life into those iconic sounds of yesteryears. Whether you're searching for lush pads that caress your soul, or funky bass lines that really want to make you dance like no one is listening, or some crazy leads, Mosaic Neon really has it all. So get ready to ignite your creativity and create soundscapes like never before. Let's simply play another one. And I think that's it from my side for today, and I hope I could show you how much sonic playground Mosaic Neon has to offer. See you in the next video or in the next live stream. Make good music always, and if you have Mosaic Neon, then enjoy your musical time traveling.